What's happening, YouTube? What's happening, boxing? And about that boxing, man, we got to talk today. We got to talk today about Eddie Hearn and his Beterbiev is not human comment. Here we go, y'all. Here we go.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, it's like he's not human, really. It's like almost like an unfair advantage up against him. He's very strong. He was hardly breathing. Like, he's a machine.
See how boxing always has to turn into this? Eddie Hearn literally takes this man's victory and tries to crumble it up because he's a hater. He's a high-level hater, HLH. That's what we're going to start calling him, HLH. He's a high-level hater. Dude, you're a promoter, all right? You invited Artur Beterbiev to your format to fight one of your guys and Callum Smith, who I predicted well before this fight would get knocked out. Get the fuck out of here. I wanted to say it just like Canelo. So now we got Eddie Hearn, who after the fact, not before the fight, but after the fight, instead of his fighter making an excuse, Eddie Hearn makes this janky ass comment about Artur Beterbiev not being human. It's not fair. He's not human. What are people going to think that means? Exactly what assholes took it to think it meant. That Artur Beterbiev is juicing. That he is somehow injecting himself with testosterone because his levels are too high. But everything came back clean before the fight. All right. Now, due to Tony Weeks' recent post stating that a guy had an aneurysm and they still let him fight, it makes things even more questionable. Eddie Hearn knows what the hell he's doing. He knows what times are providing him with as far as excuses and bullshit. This guy, like, I'm literally tripping right now because I didn't include him in my pound for pound list. He has every right to be. This guy has 100% knockout ratio. 100%. This dude should be on the pound for pound list. Easy. I don't think I see him on nobody's pound for pound list. I have to go look now after he done won this fight. Somebody might be adding him now, maybe. But I sure did see a whole bunch of people jump on the bandwagon and trying to accuse this man who lives a decent life, a clean life, a family man life. He ain't a junk taker. He's not known for this. Canelo Alvarez is known for this. And who signed Canelo after he was accused? None other than Eddie Hearn. He gets a $365 million contract with DAZN for 11 fights. I believe he signed that in October of 2018, and he failed 2 tests earlier that year. I believe one in like April. I know he failed two tests. He failed 2 VADAs. And Eddie Hearn signed him. Then Eddie Hearn has Conor Benn, who just recently failed. Eddie Hearn need to step up. Woo! Y'all know how I get. Eddie Hearn need to shut the hell up. That's what he need to do. He need to shut the hell up, keep promoting, shut the hell up. Your guy lost. He got his ass knocked out like I predicted he would. This wasn't even a hard match to say that to. It was so easy to say, oh, Beterbiev is going to knock this dude out. That's why I was cheering in the video. That's why I was cheering at the end of the fight. I made sure I captured that moment. I am so disgusted with Eddie Hearn when he's the guy that has all these fighters. He promotes fighters that juice. So come on, man. Just because his testosterone levels are higher than usual. Now, I watched a recent interview with Lonnie B. And Lonnie B, I love watching him interview, man. He's so like down to earth, you know. He talked about how little he gets paid to fight and all of these things. But the main thing he was saying, he was actually addressing some of these juicers and these guys that actually go out and they fail tests. Like David Benavidez failed a test. They said it was cocaine. Do we know it was cocaine? See what I mean? It could have been something else and they could have changed it. This is what I'm saying. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. There's no receipts. Eddie Hearn is talking out the side of his ass. He's a high-level hater. He backs these fighters that are like, I mean, they're all from over there. He backs all the, British, UK fighters from those areas, the whole European set. That's what he's into. And then when his guys get their ass beat, he got excuses. This is just the latest. You the one that pumped up Callum Smith like he was something. I ain't never thought Callum Smith was nothing. I'm being serious. He's all right. I'm not going to take away from him. I'm going to give him that for taking fights. He taking fights that he going to get his ass beat in. But he's getting a check. And Eddie Hearn is getting a check by selling these almost good fighters. A lot of the guys he promotes are almost good fighters. Y'all go check it out. Go look. How many American fighters does he have on his roster? How many fighters from other places does he have on his roster? They're all pretty much European fighters. They may be different colors, different sizes, different shapes, but it's all a game. It's all the same thing. Eddie Hearn is mad because he keeps backing losers. He got some nerve to try to say something about Beterbiev juicing or taking testosterone shots or whatever. All right, where the track marks at? I'm sure the Nevada State Athletic Commission and whoever does VADA testing and all these testings for PEDs and all that, I'm sure all these people know what to look for. They say, oh, you got to catch him taking it. Oh, this guy's been having knockouts from day one. So why wouldn't y'all been questioning his VADA testing before Eddie Hearn? Nobody was saying anything before Eddie Hearn made this comment. And now all of a sudden the internet's running wild saying goofy shit. Like, come on, y'all. Y'all that gullible? Y'all that interested in seeing somebody's greatness destroyed? Because that's what this sounds like to me. It sounds like y'all just don't want to see nobody accomplish nothing great. It sounds like a bunch of haters. Like, even the fans are haters. I was so proud to see Beterbiev be who he is. And, like I said, I could slap myself for not putting him in my pound for pound list. Like, literally, this dude has 100% knockout ratio. How the hell you gonna not put this guy in the #1 pound for pound? He ain't fighting no bums. He's not fighting no losers. Some guy that's been knocked out 9 times or lost nine times. And even if you lose, it doesn't make you suck. It doesn't make you a bum. It don't make you a bum because you've been, you done been. The reason I said, like, I'm going to go back to my Deontay Wilder video. Y'all could go check that one out. And I went in on Deontay Wilder, but it's only because Deontay Wilder won't change who he is as a fighter. He won't go seek help to get better guidance on being a fighter. He'd rather just keep going in there with the same damn plan that everybody done figured out 10 years ago, 15 years ago. People figured his plan out, and now he's been shut down, basically. He can't win over guys that he should be whooping easy if he had a jab and all that. That's all I was establishing in that video. See what I mean? So it's just funny that you get guys like, Canelo, you get guys, certain guys like in the eyes of Eddie Hearn, Conor Ben, who get these miraculous passes. Like Canelo tried to say it came from Mexican meat, and the guy, bro, you're Mexican. You should have failed every test you ever took if it was the meat. We should all, I guess, as boxers and fans, hell, we want to get that extra oomph. We should go order us some meat from Mexico, ship straight in. Give me some Mexican meat. I'm looking for this. I go to the Mexican market all the time where I live at, and they get a lot of their meat imported. I'm not getting that flavor out of it. I'm not getting jacked up and getting superpowers from the damn chicken I eat from the Mexican market. Y'all need to get, it's telling me they meat must not be authentic. I need to go where Canelo get his from. Come on, y'all. They try to sell us dumb-ish. That's what they do. Then they use this as means to cancel fights that should be made for other reasons. It's, he's not quite ready. He needs a little bit more training. Or they always have an agenda they trying to push. Y'all got to recognize this. One thing I really took from the Lonnie B interview that was real, like to me, hit home, was the fact that he said that they have an agenda. And basically, if you don't fit in that agenda, they treat you like garbage. Like they underpay you. They sit you on the shelf for 18 months. If you a hard hitter, you a winner, you somebody that's knocking people out, but you don't fit their plan, then they're gonna shelve you. They're gonna try to make you, we're gonna catch him when he is not training good. So we could use him as a stepping block for one of our guys. We're gonna catch him slipping. So they try to do everything to deter you from being that guy. But then they get certain boxers that are privileged. They get their hand held and they get walked through and they get matched up properly. And he says something that I'll never forget, that these guys win fights they're supposed to win. Oh my God, that just hits home. It hits home with half of these guys' records that you see that never fully get tested. For instance, Jaron Ennis, when he had his last fight with Shukashan, I think his name is Shukashan, something like that. And this guy had crazy lateral movement. He fought him last year. Before Errol and them fought, I believe he fought this guy. And this guy went the distance. I believe he's the first guy to ever go the distance with Boots. And Boots was frustrated. He was growling and all kind of ish trying to get at this guy. And this guy, I mean, he was still landing some shots, but I believe he got a little bit hurt by some of the shots. Like, I want to say the 4th or 5th round. And then he started like backpedaling, but he was still sounding off. And then in the last round, he really gave it, like he came at Ennis, Ennis was coming at him, but he was absorbing Ennis's shots. And he had some crazy lateral movement. And Ennis couldn't cut the ring off. He looked terrible. He was cross-stepping, doing all kind of crazy shit that made him look like, bro, you're vulnerable to be trying to sit here and act like you want to call out Terrence Crawford, somebody that I picked that ish apart. Terrence Crawford to pick that apart. I'm sorry, he would. Ennis is not ready for no Terrence Crawford. He's not. He's a great fighter in development, but he needs to step his competition up, because as soon as he did last year, we saw what happened. All right? He still gave a great performance for somebody that was failing at cutting the ring off. Somebody that was overcommitting the shots. He did like 2 or 3 360s, throwing haymakers in that match. Go back and watch it. I don't make it up. These are facts. So certain fighters that they want in positions, these are the guys that keep getting gifted belts over and over again. You could tell the guys that ain't on the list, they strip them. They look at how long Canelo had belts and ain't been stripped. They barely talking about stripping Canelo. He should have been stripped months ago, a year ago, on some of these titles that he has. He should have been stripped. Look how long, Jamal Charlo, out of commission, didn't get stripped. Because they have agendas. They know the guys they want. They've already invested money in these guys. Y'all don't understand that. It's like if you invest your money into a golf course or any business. Look, I done already put my money into this. This shit gotta move. This shit gotta succeed. That's how most people are gonna think that are business oriented. I gotta give it up to Lonnie B for keeping it real. I think another thing that I took from this was one thing he said, that boxing is ran by rich idiots. I believe this to be true. I'm sorry, but I do. I believe that boxing is run by a bunch of rich idiots, and most of them have never had a fight in their life, not even in real life, not even in the streets, not even at a business conference where everybody drinking and some things get out of hand. These guys have never been involved in nothing but seeing somebody else fight. So y'all take it for what it's worth, but I believe Eddie Hearn should retract his comment, explain himself better, or shut the hell up. Take the loss. You putting someone's whole career in jeopardy, in question, by making these comments and you don't have any solid proof. You got people running around here questioning this man's victories when you don't have proof. Prove something first. If you prove it, then it is what it is. But the man passed the test. Came in there and did what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to beat the hell out of Callum Smith. Who was Callum Smith? He was supposed to beat his ass. Don't act like y'all ain't know that. 100% knockout ratio. And we're talking about Callum Smith. A guy who's decent at best. He's a decent fighter at best. I would never put Callum Smith in my top 10 fighters of today. If you ask me right now, I wouldn't put Callum Smith in my top 20 fighters of today. I'm just being real. This is how this business is working. And it's so funny that Lonnie B said that this is becoming the WWE or wrestling, like wrestling, he said. I've been said that. Go check one of my first videos. I believe it was something to do with Devin. But boxing is. That's what they're trying to make it into. It's like a glamorized version of wrestling, but even less glamorous because a lot of these guys can't sell fights. Guys aren't being promoted correctly because they don't fit certain agendas. And that's bullshit. Boxing ain't making money because they're doing like, I'll give you a prime example. I'm from Chicago, so you know what I'm saying? I mess with the Bears. They're not my number one team. They're my secondary team. All right. My main team has been San Francisco since I was like 7 years old. So, 6, 7. I've been a San Francisco 49ers fan. So the Bears just came with the territory. They're my secondary. If the Niners was just totally tanking that year, then I would pick the Bears. But all that being said, the Bears would invest a bunch of money into like 1 or 2 characters and the rest of the team sucked and wonder why they kept losing for all these years. And they still continue to do that. They'll invest a bunch of money in a quarterback, but nobody to get this man any blocking. They put too much money into one thing instead of spreading that money out a little bit and getting a few items that all work together. And that's how boxing is. Boxing is running around here and they're using this as ways to duck because the boxers that are backed, it's easy for them to duck somebody. Because all they got to say is, oh, you ain't bringing nothing to the table. You're not selling any tickets. You're not, just like we be saying about Teofimo. Teofimo ain't selling no tickets because he's not being promoted correctly. That's what he's mad about. Now, he can't say nothing about the black fighters. You know what I'm saying? Black fighters have to work like 10 times as hard sometimes to get ahead in the game. And it's a shame that it's like that. But it's not only black fighters. Look at Beterbiev. Look at what they're trying to do to him. See what I mean? That's why I get sick of people trying to make race be the thing. It's not about no race only. It's not about your ethnicity only. Pardon, because I don't like the word race. I think we're just one race, the human race. And then we have a bunch of ethnicities in this race. Or like other people, like other creatures, we have a bunch of species of humans. We have different species, but we're one race. Don't get it twisted. I cut you, you're going to bleed just like me. I starve you, you're going to starve to death just like me. No matter what ethnicity you are, no matter what color your skin is. Like I said, look at Artur Beterbiev. Look at what he's getting for having 100% knockout ratio. A man that ain't never had nobody approach him about no VADA testing that he failed. He has some discretions. This is the craziest part about this. He has some discretions in his testing. It was atypical, which means, let me tell y'all something. Atypical just means, I said it already. Atypical simply means ain't typical. Let's be ghetto. It ain't typical. That doesn't mean that someone has to, there's a lot of stuff that's not typical. There's a lot of people that have non-typical things going on. Strength and other things in this world. There's billions of people on this planet. You expect everybody to be typical? How ignorant does that sound? I truly believe they want to push these old fighters out. I said it before. I heard Lionel B say it in an interview. Lonnie B said that, you know, by the time you're in your 30s, end of your 30s, they consider you like a has-been in boxing. This is just what they promote. This is what they promote. That's why I said in the Ishmael Barroso video, that's why I said what I said. That basically they let your boy, Rolando Ramiro, get gifted a belt because this guy didn't fit the bill. He's older. He's already supposed to be a has-been. Ain't nobody backing no Barroso like that. He's supposed to be a has-been. How is he coming in here doing what he's supposed to be doing? He's atypical. He's not the usual guy to them. But there's a bunch of guys that are like this. Don't let boxing fool you. You're not dead when you're 35 and 36 and 38. It's not over when you're 45, unless you mentally and physically let yourself be that. Yes, you're going to get things that are going to deteriorate from your earlier age. Yes, you're not going to punch like you did when you was 25, but you may punch with more wisdom than you did when you were 25. See how that works? Your ring IQ should be higher than when you were 25. There's a lot that comes with age as well. And I told y'all gotta stop following these dumbass narratives that are set up to make you feel like you're dead by the time you're 40 as a man. You running around here like, oh my God, my life is over. I gotta take some drugs or some shit to make me be super again like I was when I was 25. No, all you gotta do is live your life right. Stop stressing about dumb ish. That's the number one destroyer of humanity, is stress. So if you live your life clean, stress-free, and be about your family and don't let all these outside distractions remove you from that, you could be like Beterbiev. Because come to find out, Artur Beterbiev is a devoted Muslim. He's Islamic. Could this have anything to do with why Eddie Hearn and the rest of boxing is not letting him shine? See what I'm saying? Boxing always resorts back to the ethnicity card, the religion card, what some refer to as, quote, the race card. Boxing is petty as shit when it comes to this. And I believe in my whole of heart the fact that Beterbiev is Islamic is the reason why they are treating him like they are treating him. I hope this doesn't have effect on Tank. I hope they don't try to treat him different because he devoted himself to Islam in his personal life. That's a personal life choice. Get off of it, Eddie Hearn. See, when you find out everything, it makes you know way more. When you find out and you dig and you actually research, you find out way more. That's why Beterbiev is a family man. That's what I'm getting from this. They don't want you to be that. When you're older, you have an intelligence level that's different. They don't want some guy that's already set in his ways. Now, y'all been cheating me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got away with that shit when I was 25, when I was 23. I'm wise to that ish now. See what I'm saying? This is why they don't want older people in sports. They don't want older sports figures. It has nothing to do with the abilities of the player. Nothing to do with it. They used to keep guys around as team leaders like Magic and other people. They were still good. Magic wasn't in his prime like 4 or 5 years before he left the team. He was already out of his prime. Maybe even more than that. It was the nostalgic value and the leadership of these people. And in boxing, they don't want this. They don't want guys that have leadership qualities that may influence these younger guys and let them know, bro, you're getting ripped off. Or they're putting you in the ring against somebody that they know is juicing. But they're not going to say nothing about this guy until he gets caught. Meanwhile, the guy that's not down with the program, not on the team, not running with them, he's going to be judged about every move he makes. If he knocks out their prospect, oh man, hold on, what's going on? I haven't heard anybody say anything about Matias. A lot of people talk about Matias and how his power is and all this. I haven't heard anybody question him juicing. I've seen this guy take hits from people that's like ridiculous. Matias have just run in and somebody be bombing on his head and it's like he don't even feel it. Now, I'm not saying Matias is juicing, and Matias is definitely younger than a Beterbiev. But what I'm saying is they're not questioning it. See, Matias fits what they want in the game. He fits a certain agenda of types, of sorts. So y'all got to pay attention in boxing. Stop running with everything somebody says. Eddie Hearn is a high-level hater that just runs his mouth, and he's upset because literally the zone been losing money. The zone, go look at it. The zone been spending money on events, and people are not even interested in these events the way that the zone thinks they're interested in them. Look at how they've been running all the heavyweight fights over in Saudi Arabia. We're not interested in that ish over here. That's what I'm trying to say. We just not interested the same. And one of the reasons is because there's not enough promotion behind all these fighters. Back in the days, used to get so many good fights. The Wilfred Benitez's and just whoever it was, they were pumping them up for their accomplishments in the ring. Now they want to write you off. You're getting too old. We're not gonna have no control over you anymore. Your mind gonna start. Your man brain is here, and you're gonna start rebutting shit. So we don't want you. We gotta run you out the business some kind of way. So they give you every fight as being a tough fight. Look at Beterbiev. They don't give him any easy fights like Bivol. Look at Bivol's fights. The last couple of guys Bivol fight. Y'all know y'all didn't know him. Don't act like you knew him. Don't act like they were some super sensational ass fights. For some reason, they want Bivol to be that guy right now. Just because of the Canelo thing, they want him to be that guy. But this is looking and sounding a lot like Teofimo Lopez, the guy that beat Lomachenko. And he thought he was just supposed to get a whole skate-free ride. And then it didn't work out for him. What's the difference? Teofimo runs his trap a lot, and Bivol just runs with the script. Bivol runs way more with the script of things than Teo did. So that's why Bivol is right now getting held up like that. I believe Beterbiev will beat Bivol. I don't think it'll be that hard for him to do it. I think he'll beat Bivol. Now, I will say this. If they come to find something happen with Beterbiev, it'll be super disappointing. And I'm going to be 10 times harder on him than I'm being good for him right now. And I'm being nice for the situation and I'm backing him right now. I'll be 10 times more against him if it is found that something like that happens. And you should be too, because now he has cheated. But up to this point, he's passed the test. Learn your language, learn your terminology before you start running around and automatically like everybody's running around. Oh, he cheated. They're using that in their captions and all this. And is there something to it? He does have 100% knockout ratio. So the problem is that Beterbiev is beating people that they feel he shouldn't be beating. It's not that he shouldn't be beating them. It's just that certain people on certain levels, like Eddie Hearn, who wants to make a check off of these half-ass fighters, feel like Beterbiev shouldn't be beating him this dominantly. This is my fighter. I invested in him. Get out of here, Eddie Hearn. Go pick from a new set of fighters. Why don't you try some different nations, some different cultures? Stop trying to sell the same boring ass fighters. The best fighter you got on your roster is Anthony Joshua. Literally. I'm trying to think of all the other fighters. I never support no counter bend. Once a cheat, I never will trust you again. Not when you cheat like that. Then you try to deny it and all. Man, it's the same thing with Canelo. I just don't trust him no more like that. Ever since he failed 2 tests, man, I gotta question everything this guy does now. This dude should have a VADA test and ankle bracelet. Literally. Like he on house arrest. He should have a VADA ankle bracelet. These guys that fail these tests multiple times should be on VADA ankle bracelets. That's all I got to say for this one, man. It's very upsetting. I'm just very disappointed in Eddie Hearn and him making a comment like this without no paperwork, without nothing to back it. He basically is trying to hurt someone's career. Boxers already don't make enough money when they're not the guy that's being pushed. When they're not that guy to the organization and the powers that be. They already don't make enough money for you to come out here and run your mouth because your guy got spanked and sent home. Your guy got knocked down twice. Once the first in his career, and then right after that again, and then he got his ass TKO'd. Get out of here, Eddie Hearn. You're very disappointing. For you to say that, you sound like a sucker. You want to do something, Eddie Hearn? Go beg Artur Beterbiev to get into a contract with the Zone. Go do that. Instead of bad-mouthing him, go get him under your wing. He would be the best fighter that you ever had. Pay him right. See if he'll go for it. Don't damage a man's career over the hate you have because your guy lost. That's all I got to say, boxing. And about that boxing, man, I appreciate everybody that's been subscribing, man. Smash them likes, man. Hit them subscriptions. Get down with somebody that's really, really trying to give y'all some good boxing videos, trying to be as non-super biased as possible, and just trying to base my opinion on factual information. And about that boxing.